Hello, this is a presentation by your Student Organization Specialist. Today we're going to look at how to book space on CMU's campus. So before you book space, understand that a few things are required of your organization. Number one, your RSO must be in good standing with the Office of Student Activities and Involvement. This means having all of the necessary forms completed that make you an official registered student organization, including your risk management forms, your advisal approval forms, as well as updated rosters every semester. The action of booking space must be performed by RSO administrators. So before you look at booking space, make sure that your worksync page recognizes you as an admin of your RSO. Booking space must be done at least 15 business days before the first event, and spaces in the Bovee University Center may not be submitted until the 15th of the prior month. Additionally, spaces in Groton Hall cannot be booked until the first week of the academic semester is complete. Before you begin to plan your event, understand you need to have a few things prepared. Number one, the logistics of your event. A preferred date, time, and location, as well as some backup plans in case you cannot get things the way you exactly want them. Also keep in mind the accommodations you may need for your event. For example, if you're looking at showing a PowerPoint or a film at this event, make sure you're thinking about the accommodations such as AV equipment that you may need in order to do this. Additionally, start preparing some marketing material to use on your OrgSync page to get a further reach of your members. There are two main avenues to book space on CMU's campus. Number one is Events and Conferences Services, better known as PLAN, and this is through OrgSync. This is if you're booking space in an academic building such as Anspaugh or Pierce Hall, as well as the Bovee University Center. If you are looking at space primarily in the Park Library, such as one of their study rooms, as well as their auditorium and Strochecker room, you would do this through the library webpage as well as, again, OrgSync. So we're going to try something. We're going to try to book space through Events and Conference Services. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to your organization's OrgSync page, and then you're going to click on Events. This is going to bring you to your events calendar. To create a new event, you're going to click Create an Event. The first page is going to be what organization members or people interested in your organization are going to see. So this is where you can be really descriptive about what your event is, because it's kind of like an advertisement for your event. Later, we're going to describe our event, but that's going to be for the purposes of plan. This is where you can be creative. Make sure you have a preferred date and time of your event in mind. This should be something discussed with your e-board members before you book your space for your event. So we're going to have our event on January 9th from 12 to 1 p.m. You can choose to have your event all day. You can also choose to do repeating events. For example, if you would like to have your e-board meetings every Monday from 6 to 9 p.m., you can have that set up in OrgSync so you don't have to resubmit the booking space form every time you want to have your e-board meeting. You can just do the form once a semester and have it all completed. For your location and address, you don't need to have necessarily the specific address if you're using a campus building. For example, it's okay to write Anspaugh Hall because Plan knows where Anspaugh is. The event image portal is where you're going to upload a possible flyer or advertisement you may have for your event. Keep in mind, this is what's going to be on the OrgSync page, so people may want to see an event flyer to know a little bit more about this event. You also have controls on how many people can RSVP and who can see those RSVPs on OrgSync. You can also have access on who can see the event in general. You can choose to have just people in your RSO portal, as well as just people in Central Michigan University, or make it available to everybody. You can also request inclusion on the student organization's event list to reach more people for this event. So once we hit create an event, we're now brought to the space request form. The great thing about OrgSync is that you do not have to leave OrgSync in order to book space on campus. So you get to indicate which of the following like to complete. A space request for say, a room in Anspaugh or maybe a place in the UC. Even if you're tabling in the UC, you're going to need to fill out a space request. A banner request is if you want a banner outside of the Bovee University Center. A novelty machine request is if you would like, for say, a popcorn or cotton candy machine rented from the SAI office. You can also use this form to fill out a fundraising or solicitation form. And if your event is off campus or does not require space, i.e. if you're booking space off campus or in the library, you can also choose to click that option as well. So we're going to go through a basic space request. So the contact name is really important for your RSO. You need to pick someone that you can trust to communicate professionally with the plan office in case any problems arise with your booking space contract. Preferably, this is an e-board member or somebody you would like to delegate more responsibility to. So you need to provide your full RSO name. If you are an organization that primarily uses an acronym for your name, for example, SGA, you would need to fill out your full organization name so plan knows who you are. So instead of writing SGA, you would write Student Government Association, or instead of writing HATS, you would write the Humane Animal Treatment Society. Make sure you have your full RSO name. Your RSO event should also be included as well. So make sure you have a name for your event. If it is a general meeting, you can specify that too. You don't have to be particularly creative here. So now you're going to put down the date of your event. As we mentioned earlier, you can just book space once if you want to have general meetings every week. You just do it in this format here, having where you would like your meetings, what day of the week, as well as your time, the written out month, date, and location. So if we want to have our meetings every week, we can go ahead and do that here in OrgSync. So now you have some options for times. Number one is your event setup time. This is when you, as your organization members, are allowed into the room. If you are preparing a more intricate event, or you're even having a slideshow prepared and you would like some time to fiddle around with the computer, it's important to at least be able to access the room at least 30 minutes before your event. The last thing you want is for your organization members to show up at your new meeting and have to wait 15 minutes for you to set up your PowerPoint. So it's always good to be prepared. And now your actual event start time, as well as your event end time. Estimated attendance. If you do not know the exact number, that is totally all right. Plan just needs to know that they can give you a space that is perfectly fit for your RSO. For example, if you're only having 10 people come to your meeting, Plan knows they can give you a smaller classroom. If you have 100 people coming to your meeting, Plan knows that they need to find a bigger classroom for you. So this is for the purposes of Plan being able to find a great fit for your RSO. You can also select the type of event. Remember we talked about tabling earlier? This is where you would fill out that you want a display table in like the UC or one of the other academic buildings. If it's a general meeting or event, you can specify that as well. Or if it's something really special, you can hit Other. So event descriptions. Earlier, we described our event, and that was for the purpose of marketing. This is for the purpose of Plan. So you need to talk about what you're going to have at this event, whether you're going to have speakers come in, whether you're going to show a little film, whether you're going to have, some icebreaker sessions. This is for the purpose of Plan to know what they need to do to give you the best space possible to make this event a success. If you need open spaces, if you need a speaker, if you need a microphone, this is going to be where kind of you can indicate that. The cost of attendance. This is so Plan knows whether or not you need to fill out a fundraising or solicitation form. And now you get to pick your building preferences. You get to pick two building preferences, a first choice and a second choice. You also have the option to click Other if your building preference is not on here. For example, if you would like to have something in the Botanical Gardens, or you'd like to table outside of the UC, you might click Other for that. So we're going to have our event in Anspaugh Hall. If you're ever confused about where you would like your room, you can just Google floor plans on CMU's website. If you, for example, forget where you would like to have your events, you can actually look on OrgSync's website, as well as just typing, Anspaugh floor plan CMICH, and you can see the various floor plans that we have available for you. The best way to do this, however, is to actually go in the building and see the space for yourself so you know exactly what you're getting. So now you get to pick your second building choice. You can pick one a little bit similar to your first event choice. So Anspaugh, that's pretty similar to Grand Hall in terms of the space I need. So location preference. This is where if you hit Other, you're going to provide the kind of space you would like here. A room preference. Please put down a preference for your room number. This is to guarantee that you get the kind of space you want. This is why it's important to know specifically which room number you would like, whether that means looking at the floor plans or going into the building physically. Setup preference is important too. For example, if you're having a lot of icebreakers, you may not want the traditional classroom style. But if you're doing a general meeting, that might be just okay for you. So here you get to pick various styles of how you would like your space set up. Keep in mind the certain classroom you may be selecting may not be able to accommodate the certain style you like. Again, that's why it's important to kind of have an idea of the logistics you would like beforehand. So we're going to be okay with classroom style for this event. Setup preferences are important too. For example, if you would like the room set up a certain way, or you would like to be able to use the computer, you can specify these things here so Plan knows what you're looking for. If you're having food at this event, you need to contact Classic Fair Catering to coordinate this. Due to university policies, no outside food or beverage may be provided at events unless you go through the food waiver process. This is something that's best done in person in the Events and Conferences Services office. This is located on the main floor of the Bovee University Center, right next to Independent Bank. Filling out a food waiver, it means you're indicating exactly what you are bringing into the university event. So whether you're getting a pizza from Domino's, you can specify how many pizzas you're getting, where you're getting it from, and how you're paying for it. If you want food in the Bovee University Center or some other places on campus, you may need to go through Classic Fair Catering and actually get your food catered by CMU Catering. So make sure you have this prepared before you go into your booking space. This is part of the logistical aspect we mentioned earlier. So now we're just going to say we don't want food for this event. AV equipment. This is really crucial if you're having a PowerPoint or audio or anything that may need AV help. The Events and Conferences office is really good at being very helpful if you need help with this equipment. So please specify what you need and why you need it. So if you're showing a PowerPoint, explain I'm showing a PowerPoint and whether or not it has sound. Maybe you need to plug in your laptop. Explain if you have a Mac or PC and the kind of cord you may need for that. If you are applying for Student Budget Allocation Committee funding, you can specify that here as well. For more information on Student Budget Allocation Committee funding, please contact your student organization specialist. We would love to help you with that. And then policy information is, of course, very important. So once you complete this form, you're going to click that you fully accept responsibility on behalf of your organization, and then continue with your day. And you're almost done. The next thing you're going to do is click finish, and then you've booked some space on campus through events and conferences. So now that we've done that, we're going to look at booking space in the park library. So in order to do this, you're going to go through the booking space thing that we went through earlier, but remember when it said, what would you like? And it said the event could be off campus or you do not need to book space for this event. Let's see if we can go back to that. Right here is where you're going to click that. And you see that we didn't go through the other space request form. This is because we do not need to go through plan in order to get space in the library. What we do need to do is go through the actual library's homepage. So once you go through the library's homepage, you're going to click Spaces and Places. The library does a really good job of showing you what kind of spaces you can use for meetings. A pro tip by the SOS is that if you're having a small e-board meeting, it might be good just to use the DIBS program and check out a study room. A lot of RSOs don't realize that they can use group study rooms for those smaller meetings. You don't have to go through the hassle of maybe looking at booking a space on campus. The library offers many facilities if you would not like to use a study room. We have the Sarah and Daniel Opperman Auditorium, individual research rooms, the Strohschecker room, the Barber room, and the main corridor. The main corridor is really great if you'd like to do tabling. You see a lot of people tabling in the library. They go through this form to do that. The library is really good at providing you a nice table and even chairs if you'd like that as well. So let's say I want to rent out the Strohschecker room. I can see a description of the room. It'll tell me what kind of projector we have, a dry erase board. It shows you what kind of facilities you have, and then how many people can fit into the room, as well as every aspect of the room. So if we decide, yes, I would like this room, we would go through the library's booking space process. You can also check out the policies as well to make sure that your RSO is in compliance. So let's say we want to rent out the Strohschecker room. I'm going to click the reservation form. Something I really like about the library is that when you get to the reservation form, it's going to show you all the different events that are happening in this room for the next month or so. You can actually book space so early in advance that you can see people booking space all the way to the end of the semester. So let's say we have the Strohschecker room. We want to make sure that no one else is using this room before we book our space. But the great thing is that we can scroll down and see when our space is available or not available. For example, if I want to have my event on the 27th, I might look and see, oh, SGA has their event at 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. I probably have my event a little bit earlier. So then you click Request Strohschecker Room, and you'd go through the library's form. Again, keep in mind the things you need to have, including your logistics, maybe some marketing ideas, as well as a good way to describe your event. So again, it'll show you the upcoming reservations so you don't have to worry about overbooking your space. And it'll again remind you of what the Strohschecker room contains. So you're going to put in your date, your start time, and your end time, as well as your event info, including your name, description, estimated attendance, and if you have any preferences for setup type. Again, you're going to go through the same process of having your contact information, including the department or RSO you're working with, and an easy way to list out any resources you may need. For example, if you want to use a laptop, projector, if you want to use any furniture or stacked chairs, you can list that here. Any setup notes are also included. For example, if you are doing a panel in the auditorium, you may want these chairs and tables to be actually on the stage of the auditorium instead of outside the room. This is where you can do any kind of setup notes. So when you fill out this form, you're just going to hit submit, and then it'll be processed through the library. And the library does a really great job of emailing you back when your space is being looked at and when your space is being approved. So if you have any questions, I would either talk to a student organization specialist or go into the library in person to see how your space request is doing. So this is how you book space on CMU's campus. If you have any questions or would like more information about how to do this, please contact your student organization specialist. Again, we would love to help you with any concerns or complications you have in this process. You can contact us at sai@cmich.edu. Thank you, and good luck with booking your space on campus.